California girls were unforgettable. Daisy Dukes, bikinis on top. Sun-kissed skin so hot will melt your popsicles. Ooh-oh, ooh-oh.
Hey everyone, Paul Richmond here, and it is time for the 2017 Year in Review. It has been a busy, crazy, extreme roller coaster of every emotion possible kind of year, and I've shared a lot of that with you here on YouTube. We started out the year by telling you my coming out story, which probably was a bit of a surprise to some of you that I was ever in. I have gotten to do all kinds of really awesome art collaborations and projects. I've shared some of those with you here, like the project I did with photographer Mike Ruiz, and the portrait swap that I did with queer illustrator Christian Cimoroni. I've done some commissions, I've done all kinds of figurative paintings this year, and I've tried to show you as much as I can while I'm in the process of doing it so that you can actually sort of get a sense of what all goes into the way that I make my paintings. This year I got to see one of my dreams come true that I've had for a little while, which was publishing an adult coloring book of my Cheesecake Boys, which are the pinups that I do, the hot guys losing their clothes all over the place, and they really have been all over the place. You guys all over the world have been coloring those pinup boys ever since, and I love seeing what you've done. If you want to check out what people have been doing, you can just do a search for the hashtag Cheesecake Boys and you'll see all kinds of cute guys in their undies. I even got to go down to LA for the LA Times Festival of Books, and we sold the coloring book at the Dream Spinner booth, and we had a super fun coloring party at Revolver nightclub in West Hollywood. Lots of people came out, everyone was coloring, we had some real live Cheesecake Boys there, and it was so much fun. I even got to meet some of the guys who have posed for some of the Cheesecake Boy drawings. It was an awesome, awesome night. I'm not really sure how to segue into this, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to talk about it in this video, but I really can't talk about 2017 without talking about the fact that my dad passed away this year, which was very unexpected, very difficult. I haven't talked a whole lot about it on here. I did mention it in one video, but it's just been a lot to kind of process and deal with that. I was down in Florida when it happened. My sister called, and it's just still, even to this day, very hard to imagine that. I will just tell you one little story about my dad, because we had this kind of special bond. When I was growing up, you know, it was hard for us to find things that we had in common, because my interests were over here and his were over here. But in recent years, he developed a true love of the band ABBA. And he told me one day, he called me and he asked me if I liked ABBA, and then he said, you know, my dad was kind of a conservative guy. He was, you know, just very different from me. And so he said, I know that it's kind of gay, but I really like them. So we bonded over ABBA. He really wanted to get the autograph of the lead singer of ABBA, so I had written and gotten her to send that for him this past year for Christmas, and I did a little painting of her to go with it and sent it to him. So that's just all. He would call me. A lot of times we never had a lot to talk about on the phone because he didn't understand what I was talking about with my art stuff, and he, you know, we just were in two different places a lot of times. But I mean, you know, we loved each other very much. But anyhow, he would call me, and if we didn't have anything to talk about, he would just hold the phone up to the speaker and play Dancing Queen, and we would just listen to the whole song. He would hold it there and play the whole thing, and I would listen to it. So whenever I hear that song now, I think of him. One of the things that has really helped me to get through this year was all of the wonderful people in my life who have reached out and come to visit. Some of my, you know, closest friends and family have spent time out here with Dennis and me this year. We've done some really awesome projects together. Having those important people nearby has made such a difference. One of the first visitors who came was my friend Aaron.
What up, bitch?
He came out here to help with this really awesome project that we were doing this fall at the Open Ground Studios where I was having a show. We built a mural out of 30,000 puzzle pieces that formed the portraits of 3 people from the community. And we had young people from all over decorate puzzle pieces with little words and drawings and things that represented them. So it was this whole idea of like fitting in and what does that mean? So we used the puzzles in a way that was like totally opposite of how they were intended to represent. You know, you don't have to fit in a traditional way. You can find your own way. That was a part of my show Face to Face, which was all about portraits and showing, you know, unique individuals and that type of thing.
How does he do that?
Magic.
It is magic.
A lot of gay magic.
Next to it.
My sister-in-law Tiffany and her husband Steve came out to visit and introduced me to the Winchester House, which is in San Jose, not too far from us. And that is a mansion, a whacked out trippy mansion that this lady built because she was trying to escape the ghosts that she felt were haunting her. And then in October, my good friend Angela and my childhood art teacher and lifelong bestie Linda came out and spent some time here to help with our Art Against Bullying workshops that we were doing. It's part of our You Will Rise project, which is this whole anti-bullying through art movement that we started about 6 years ago.
It's all about using art to empower people who have experienced bullying to speak out.
You can be anything you want if you believe in yourself.
So we've got a few different projects going on today, and this is going to be like a major work day. We're going to keep you guys moving.
Art is one of the most healthiest things you can do. Anything to help you express this negative energy you've been going through. Those people inflicting all this pain onto you, to shut them down, you have to create your own little world.
We also did a special event for Linda to share her artwork and talk about her life, which was incredibly inspiring, very difficult, but ultimately very inspiring because of what she overcame to become the amazing creative person that she is today. It was an amazing night, and I was able to put all of that onto YouTube, so you can check that one out too. It's called Reaching for the Light. My good buddy Melissa and her husband Michael came out, and we did a little video where we went up to Big Sur. They were here for Thanksgiving, so we also had some fun trying to figure out how to work our way around the kitchen.
Pierce through the skin and flesh with a fork, all over the breast.
Whoa.
Pierce your breast.
Pierce that baby.
Never done this before.
Don't.
Like that?
I don't know.
That's what it says, right? Oh, there, what? It pierced?
Okay.
It's so squishy.
So gross.
Ooh, it's like making sounds. Oh,
You don't have to mutilate the goddamn thing.
it said all over, right?
It's all over.
And you've gotten to meet some of my super talented friends that live here in Monterey, like Alyssa. And the amazing Prince series that she's working on, and my hilarious, awesome, funny, super talented friend Robert, who took me hiking and who you've seen on here before talking about our mutual love of divas, and you've seen some of his artwork. So he's an awesome guy that I'm so glad I've been able to meet, and we usually get together once a week and paint. It's been really fun to put out my first Cheesecake Boy clothes, including underwear, of course, because that's usually what a Cheesecake Boy ends up wearing. There was even a color your own pair, so you could get the pattern in just outline form, like the coloring book, and then color it yourself. I think that in the coming year we need to do some videos showing that process, because I just imagine that it would be a lot more fun to do that while someone's actually wearing them, right? So as far as what's next, what's coming in 2018, I don't know, lots! Hopefully lots of good stuff. Continue to be painting lots of stuff and having you come along for that, so you can see what all I'm up to in my studio. And we're also going to have some more Cheesecake Boy fun in the coming year. I'm going to do a little web series called Let's Draw Cheesecake Boys. Whoa! Better! Let's draw! After you've been coloring them for a while, I figured the next step might be that you'd want to learn how to draw your own. So I'm going to do some videos with some help from some real live Cheesecake Boys who will pose for you, and then I will show you how to draw them at home. And it will be super fun, but only if you pick up your little sketchbook and pencil and draw along with me. You do not have to have any art experience whatsoever. You just have to be interested in drawing some cute guys with their clothes off. I hope that you guys have had a wonderful year and that you have a great New Year's and that your 2018 is the best ever. I don't know what all's in store, but I know that whatever it is, I'm bringing you along with me. So I'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Barbara Streisand.
Well, that's a tongue twister.